Hi everyone, today I'm doing my Tiny March 2016 book haul, and this month I tried to get as little books as possible, and I also tried to stay away from stores where I would be tempted to buy books, and that's because my husband and I are moving at the beginning of April and I really didn't want to acquire any more books so that we wouldn't have to bring them all to our new place. With that being said, I did buy a few books this month, and let's get right to it. The first book that I purchased is Tender as the Night by Scott Fitzgerald, and the only other book that I've read by him before was The Great Gatsby, which I really enjoyed. This book is about a couple. It's Nicole and Dick Diver, and they vacation in the French Riviera in the 1920s. They have this sort of look about them that they're a perfectly solid couple and that everything with them is great and wonderful, but whenever a young Rosemary falls for Dick, their whole facade starts to crumble. Things get a little bit less perfect as time progresses. I'm really looking forward to reading this book. It sounds like it has a fair amount of drama, and we always love that. And I know if it's anything like The Great Gatsby, I'm definitely going to enjoy it because his characters are usually very likable and they have a lot of depth to them. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. The next book that I got is Big City Ice, and the thing that drew me to this book was the beautiful cover. I saw it and right away I thought that I would definitely have to check it out because how beautiful is this? It's really beautiful. And the story is about a single mom who has a teenage son, and she decides that it's best for them to move away from Manhattan and go to a small town in Long Island. So her son enrolls in a high school there, and then she gets a job as a writer for one of the newspapers there, and then she thinks she's in for a peaceful living of sorts, but then she comes across a married policeman who she has some sort of attraction, a little romance with, and also there is a mystery that they come across, and apparently someone got murdered in this quiet little town, so they have to solve that and see what happened there. It sounds like a pretty interesting read, definitely different from what I normally read. I don't really read a lot of books like this one, but I like that it has a little mystery aspect as well, so it seems very promising, and I hope me judging this book by its cover is going to pay off and it will be a nice read. But if not, at least I can enjoy the beautiful cover. The next book that I picked up is Time Traveler's Wife, and I've seen this movie a while ago when it first came out in theaters, so I vaguely know the plot of the story. Basically, this is about a man named Henry who is a librarian, and he starts a romance with a woman named Claire. And from what I remember from the movie, they meet when she's just a young girl, and then they sort of continue on meeting as he keeps involuntarily traveling in time and coming back to see her. And their romance turns into, I believe they get married, and then it's still very complicated because he sort of disappears and appears at all random times. So I think that reading the book is definitely going to be more exciting than watching the movie, so I'm looking forward to this one as well. The next book that I picked up is Scarlet, which is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. I just finished reading Cinder this month and I really enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to reading the second book in the series, and this one is about Scarlet, who is, I guess, a retelling of the Little Red Riding Hood, and Cinder also makes an appearance in this book as well, so all of the books are sort of tying in together. And Scarlet is on the search for her grandmother, and she comes across a street fighter named Wolf who claims to know where her grandmother is. She doesn't fully trust him, but she has a weird sort of attraction to him, so they stick together and try to find her grandmother, which sounds a lot like the story that we all know, and I'm really excited to see what kind of sci-fi spin is put on this book as well, because Cinder was wonderful and I'm really looking forward to seeing what this one is like. The next book that I picked up is The Secret Life of Bees, and I believe there's a movie based on this book as well, which I haven't seen, but this book sounds like a really nice story. It's a little bit sad. It's about a young girl named Lily whose mother died, and there's a new woman who sort of takes over as Lily's mother, and together they decide to move to a small town in South Carolina where Lily is able to learn a little bit more about her mother's past, which I think it's just such a sweet story about learning about your family's past and sort of getting to know your past a little bit better. And I love the cover of this book too. It's just so like little watercolors, and it just seems like a really, really nice book. And I've seen it around BookTube as well, so I think that it's going to be a pretty good read. So I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'll want to watch the movie as well. The last book that I got is Loving Frank, and I've seen this book on BookTube, and that's why I was sort of tempted to pick it up as well. This book is about a married couple who hire a designer for their home named Frank, and the wife ends up sort of falling for Frank, and they start a sort of an affair of sorts, and they're sort of drawn to each other and they can't control it, and it's really bad. And this is basically a story about their affair. I don't normally read books like this, but it seemed intriguing enough, and I've seen some people enjoy it, so I think this will be a pretty interesting book. Please let me know if you've read this one. And also let me know if you've read any of the other books that I've mentioned. I don't really know what to expect from a lot of them, so any feedback is greatly appreciated. And thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.